Hi folks, welcome back. By this time you should have the legs done, okay, and rounded out and all this done in here and around the legs. I have a little bit more carving to do on the inside. Those little pieces inside are kind of hard to do. You have to use your detail knife, which is a smaller knife with a pointier end on it. It helps to get in those areas which are really hard to get into. So I did this side of his foot, and it needs to be rounded down a little bit. But and this is roughly how I did this foot here, so the front paw. Now I'm going to show you how to do that on the other side. What you want to do is just cut across the back side of it first, like so. Now let's do it this way, like so. Alright, for that heel portion. And then what you're going to do is you're going to round this off. You're going to take this off. Now the front portion is we're not going to end up doing because, I mean, right up here where the knife is pointing, you won't be able to get in there. But all you're going to do is round this up. Same here, you're going to just kind of dig this out a little bit, like so. And see how we've got that already looking pretty good there. And then you're just going to round that paw off. Just like that. Just to get it oval. Let me take these one set of glasses off here so I can see a little bit better. Just like that. And you want to do the same thing over here. See how I'm using my thumb again to have control over that knife. And you can go up here and clean that up a little bit on the bottom. What you want to do is take off all that rough marks everywhere on that dog, whether it's on the back end or on the tail. Okay, so that's how you round up that paw. You can go in a little bit deeper here. Very hard to clean that up in there. It's very, very tight. You can use a detail knife to get in there. And then you want to run this off a little bit too in the front, like I did over here. Say, and we're going to just dig this out a little bit back here. Do a little bit of a heel here. Alright. Yeah folks, the reason I use a detail knife in areas is that it's just easier to get to. If you have the bigger knife, the roughing out knife, you can use it and you probably can get some good results with that, but this just makes it much easier. See how sharp that knife is? That is terrific. Okay, so if you want to round everything over a little bit, all the way around the dog, you know, go back and I'm not going to sand him. I know I sanded this guy, but I'm not going to sand this guy at all. So what we're going to do is I did half of the tail. All it is a matter of chopping the back end here, a little slice here, and this you really have to be careful how the grain is running because you can chip it out just like so. You see how this grain is running this way? You want to be careful with that. You want to make it come to a point, so we're going to pull this in a little bit. Just like that. And this is very hard, so just take your time, do little pieces at a time. Okay, so we're going to make that tail nice and round. All the way around, we're going to round it up. And you do the rest of this offline as well. And just get rid of all those rough marks, just like that. Just like that, okay? So we're going to round all this up a little bit. And, you know, just be very careful in here that you don't knock that whole section off. Kind of work your way down in there. And that's a little bit rounded, so let's just round that up like that, okay? That's how I see it on this one over here. It's a little bit rounded, so you want to take all that rough stuff off. If you can, just take your time and clean that all up. That might take you a couple hours, maybe half an hour, depending how good you are with carving and where you're at with carving. This is a great little project for people that are just beginning, because it teaches you about the grain of the wood, how you have to flip it around. It teaches you a little bit about shaping things. It teaches you, you know, how to put that line down the middle all the way. It teaches you to clean up everything. It teaches you that your knives need to be sharp. Also teaches you how to hold your knives and the right type of cuts, you know, how to use the pivot form, all that and that kind of thing. So if you're just starting, this is a good project to do for you. See how little I'm taking off at a time? When you do that, folks, you eliminate major problems taking off little snippets like this, simply because you're not putting a lot of force on it. And I do that a lot in areas that are really delicate. You just want to be careful with the tail. That can snap off, so if you have kids and stuff and you want to keep this, I wouldn't suggest they'd handle it. Okay, so that's just my recommendation. You know, if they're a little bit older maybe, or if you don't care, that's fine too. But most carvers I know, they put a lot of time in these pieces, and not that it can't be repaired with some glue, which I've done more than once with my pieces. Okay, so we're just gonna clean everything up here. Okay, and then we're gonna do the nose. The nose is just simply rounding it off. So let's do that. And we'll do one at the top. Yeah, a little bit on the bottom. And then we're going to round it in the front. Just half a circle. And turn around. And do another half a circle. And then down. Alright. So we got our little nose in there. When we come back, we're going to either paint it or burn it. That's up to you folks. If you have a wood burner, that's great. That's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to try to get a lot of it done before I do my last video on this, so you can see it completed. And I'll do one eye online, and the rest I'll do offline before I see you folks again. Okay? So we'll be right back.